Okay, everybody, welcome back to day three. We've been going through the days here. Day one, just opening to new possibilities, perspectives, and just the idea that you can create your new identity. Day two, how to activate and optimize through practice, the mind, body, spirit aspects of the self, and that's really incorporating all of our tools, whether it's meditation or movement or martial arts or proper nutrition. And then we're into day three now, and I'm really excited about my guest, dear brother. We met a number of years ago, had some incredible conversations, and we've reconnected again, and I'm super excited to introduce Satyen Raja. He's a teacher mentor to CEOs. He is the founder of Warrior Sage, and he's involved in all kinds of leadership training and that sort of thing. And he's going to talk about the ultimate identity upgrade and how it really pertains to our day three, and how we embody that new identity, that kind of highest version of us, to really set ourselves on this path to true freedom and fulfillment. So Satyen, thank you so much for joining. I'm really grateful and feel so much honor for you being here.
A mutual honor, Lee. I always love our interactions, and I know the good people that you've gathered in this circle are exceptional beings of movement and change and positivity. So I'm looking forward to share with you today, and all of us dive in a vortex together wherever we are in the world and whenever we're seeing this.
I love that. Now we've been talking here for a little while, and you mentioned this ultimate identity upgrade. So I'd love for you to share like what that's about, and I understand you have a little bit of an exercise for us to go through and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'd love for you just to kind of take things away and
thank you.
Take us right into this.
Okay, well, let's dive right in. Let's take off the seat belts rather than put them on, and go off into inner space, hyperspace together, shall we? So let me give you some understanding of how I understand identity. Okay, so I'm going to give you some metaphysical concepts, and in my philosophy from Bruce Lee, absorb what's useful, discard what's not, and obviously come up with your own creations. I don't put this out as an ultimate truth. I put it out as a cultivating practice that you can take what you like out of this. Okay, so get the idea that we are a divine spiritual individual, a conscious individual with choice, that we're non-located anywhere. We're outside and beyond time and space. We just are a divine, if you will, spark of the absolute. Now, when we come into form right here, we have identities that we take on. So right now, when I'm with you, I'm in the identity right now. There's people listening and joining in. I'm the identity of a teacher, a guide, a mentor. When I'm with my wife, I'm in the identity of a husband. Now, an identity is a viewpoint with a goal. I'll say that again. An identity is a viewpoint. So infinite consciousness, infinite unity, oneness consciousness comes into a viewpoint. Right now, the viewpoint is me. You are in your viewpoint. Everyone listening is in their viewpoint. A viewpoint is an identity. An identity is a viewpoint with a goal. Every viewpoint or identity has a goal. So when I'm in the identity of husband, my goal is to, when I'm with my wife, my goal, the ultimate unconscious or meta goal, is to give my wife a great life, to be a great husband. When I'm with my children, I'm in the identity of father. The goal, the meta goal, the big goal is to support my children to have a flourishing life of their own desire. When I'm with my parents, elderly parents, I'm in the identity of elder son. And so I have that relationship. When I'm with my brother, I'm in the identity of elder brother. So we're constantly moving in, vacating, and leaving identities all day long, unknown, unconscious. All day long, we're doing this. Who knows how many thousands of times per day. Now, the challenge is when we get stuck in an identity, then we're not creative. We're consuming that identity that's become stiff and if you will, crystallized. And just like sometimes we see homeless people wearing a big heavy jacket even in winter because they're so identified with, they don't want to let it go. In the same way, we have so many identities we don't want to let go of because we think the identity is who we are. And it's not who we are. It's just an identity. So having said that, each identity has a viewpoint with a goal. Now, let me give you an example of a stuck identity. This used to be me. It's a lot of business people I know. This is indicative of the work world, where I'd be in my work, be in business. I'm in the identity of a business leader, doing what I'm doing. Then when I would come home, I would still partially be in the identity of a business person, leader. And therefore, I couldn't get that out of my mind. And when I'm with my daughter, my son, my wife, they feel a lack of my presence. And I'm thinking, shit, I should have done this. I could have done that. I should have finished that earlier. Why? Because now I'm in mixed identities, half one foot in one. And then I would go to work and I'd be thinking, I need to spend more time with my family and I'm not doing that enough. I'm not nurturing them with my presence. So I'd be half in that identity. Why? Because I was stuck in those identities and I was not fluid. Mastery, awakening, enlightenment is the ability to enter and leave identities at choice. So we're going to do a little practice today. So practically, how does this work? When you're at work, you're in the identity of that person. When it's time to drive home, relinquish that. If you need a walk, go for a shower, go for a little walk, go for breath, do exercise, do a self-loving ritual, go in whatever you need to do. Relinquish that identity, and then reorient. Now I'm going to come home and be the sexy husband. Now I'm going to come home and I'm going to be the honorable, loving, conscientious father. You have to choose that identity and enter it fully and let the other one go. This alone can shift everyone's reality powerfully, because now you're not identity confused or wishy-washy, which people can feel. You're grounded and solid. So let's work on, let's have a magical experience of ourselves beyond all identities, come back to our true nature, so then we can choose what identity we want to be in and not, and have the ultimate identity upgrade. Shall we do that?
Love to.
Okay.
Brilliant.
So everyone listening, wherever you are, I'd like you to, my humble request is that you don't just listen to this, that you actually, if you're driving, of course, pull aside, do this in a safe way, find a safe place to do this. It only takes 5 minutes or so, but this will be a very powerful activation of your spiritual essence, which will allow you to go in and out of whatever identities, okay? Now, Lee, if I can ask you to follow along with me, and everyone can follow along at home in their own way. So, okay, I want you to pick an area that you have an actual challenge, a tension, a problem, okay, that you feel that you would like to have more peace and flow with. So give me one example from your life. Everyone at home can pick one example from their own life. It could be personal, professional. You don't have to give me the whole story, just the essence of it, Lee. An area you'd like to have more flow in.
Really calling in and desiring partnership.
Okay.
Calling in my beloved.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, calling in my beloved. Okay, everyone at home, I want you to make a note of what yours is. Okay, all right. What is your area that you'd like to have more flow and free? Now, Lee, what's the frustration you have? Is there frustration, a tension? What's the problem in this? Is there any even that you can feel? Perhaps you had past experiences and you're like, oh, that didn't work out. Like, what's the feeling that you're in with this?
She hasn't fully shown up yet.
Okay, and how does that make you feel? Is there like a yearning, a pining?
A little sad, a little angry.
Yeah, okay, sad, angry, looking for ideal partner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not the only one. This is a major pandemic. This is one of the relationship pandemics that we're having with those who are not in a relationship, is the feeling of, I'm not matching the right one. I'm not getting the resonance, someone who meets the depth of my soul's calling of who I am. So let's focus on that. Everyone at home, I'd like you to focus on what yours is. So tune in and feel, what's the problem you're having in this circumstance, home, personal, and professional, and feel it fully, magnify it. And as I'm guiding Lee, I'm going to guide you all along as well. So Lee, if you could close your eyes, and everyone at home, I want you to go into that identity, the one who's sad, angry, looking for the ideal partner. You're yearning, your soul is yearning to call in your beloved, but it hasn't happened just as yet. I want you to feel that fully for you, Lee, and everyone else. Feel what your problem and contraction is. Magnify it, dramatize it. We tend to repress it because we want to be positive on top of it. On purpose, let it come up to the surface and dramatize it, magnify it. And let me know when you could give me a head nod when you're there. Very good. What would you call this identity? If you gave it a name, Lee, what identity would you give this? If you were to give it a name, like the lonely one, whatever it is, what would you, if you were to call this identity by name, what would you call it? And you can go ahead and express it verbally. The one who's yearning for partnership, the one who's, how would you describe this identity?
Yeah, maybe I've actually done a lot of work on worthiness. So worthiness of partnership, maybe.
Okay, the one who's worthy of partnership, right?
Yeah.
The one who's worthy of partnership. Okay, very good. Very good. Everyone at home, what identity are you in? Feel that. Be in it fully. Dramatize this identity. Now imagine you're looking out from the eyes of this identity. What's the goal of this identity? What's its goal? So Lee, what's the goal of the one who's the identity, your identity of the one worthy of a partner and a partnership? What's the ultimate goal?
To be in a truly loving, reciprocal, honoring.
Okay, beautiful.
Partnership.
Okay. Excellent. And everyone at home, I want you to feel, what's the ultimate goal of your identity? Once you have that ultimate goal, now Lee, I want you to go ahead and feel this goal of being in a truly loving, beautiful, conscientious, evolving relationship, partnership, one that meets the depth of your soul's longing. Everyone at home, go ahead and I want you to feel yours. Feel your goal as being fully achieved and realized. So imagine, Lee, on every level of your being, that you have now fulfilled the identity's goal, which is to be in a truly loving relationship. See it, feel it, and let me know when you're there. Give me a head nod. And everyone at home, do the same. Feel the identity's goal being fully realized and achieved. That's it. And now stabilize in this new identity. Ground in it. And expand open. Now, what identity do you find yourself in now, Lee? What would you call this new identity? Give it a name or a description. And everyone at home too, give this new identity you're in a description or a name. Once you have it, go ahead and tell me. Or whisper it into the space.
Loving companionship.
Very good. Loving companion. Okay, you're in the identity of a loving companion. Whatever identity, and now look out through the eyes of a loving companion. And everyone at home, look out through the eyes of your new identity. And what is the ultimate goal of this new identity? Lee, what's the ultimate goal of loving companion? For you, what's the goal?
Just to continue to show up fully, honestly, honorably, humbly, and with the utmost of love and honoring
Wow. Okay,
who my
beautiful.
beloved.
Beautiful. Okay, feel that fully. And those of you at home, feel your goal fully manifesting, being realized in this lifetime. Create a scenario perhaps in your imagination where it's being fully realized in this lifetime. And when you're there, ground in it, stabilize in it, become one with it. And celebrate the achievement of this identity's goal and relax into it. Let me know when you've done that, Lee, when that goal has been fully realized. Very good.
Okay.
And everyone at home, you can honor that you're in this new place now. Feel how good that feels. And now, what identity do you find yourself in now, Lee? And everyone at home? What would you call this new identity that you're settled in now?
Expansion or expanded peace and love.
Expanded peace and love. Beautiful, beautiful. So you're in the identity who is one of expanded peace and love. What identity are you in, those of you at home? Say it out. Now, looking out through the eyes of this identity, the expanded peace and love identity, and whatever ones yours are at home, looking out through the eyes of that identity, what is the ultimate goal, Lee, of this identity of one who's expanded in peace and love? What's the ultimate goal of that identity?
To be a true example of unconditional love, the likes of which this world has never seen.
Beautiful. Example of unconditional love that the world has not seen. What about everyone at home? What is your goal of this identity? Express it fully, without reservation. Now, from this identity, achieve that goal of being the absolute ultimate example of unconditional love, like the world hasn't seen. Feel that goal, Lee, being fully realized and achieved in this lifetime. And everyone at home, do the same. Feel your identity's goal being fully realized. What would that feel like? What would that look like? How would you experience that in real time? Go there. Ground in that, stabilize in that state. And let me know when that goal is fully realized, where the example of you as unconditional love is fulfilled. Let me know when you're there. And everyone at home, when you're there and your goal is fulfilled, just celebrate this. That's it. Very good. Stabilize in this new identity, ground in it, and expand infinitely in all directions as this new identity. Good. What would you call this identity now? Lee, does it even have a name? Is it even an identity? What would you call this that you're in now? There's no identity, is there?
No.
It's just you, your true self.
Yeah.
So expand is you infinitely in all directions. Everyone at home as well. Expand as you infinitely in front of you, behind you, above you, below you, to the sides of you.
The only thing that came to mind was boundless potentiality.
There you have it. That's the essence of your nature. Boundless potentiality. How would you describe your identity at home? Everyone, say it out loud, just like Lee did. Boundless, what did you call it? Possibility?
Potentiality.
Beautiful. I want you to recognize that boundless potentiality is the essence of your nature. It's actually who you are. It's not a description. It's the nature of your being. Those of you at home, however you've described the essence of your being prior to identities is your nature. Expand out infinitely is that. And Lee and everyone at home, knowing your essence is boundless potentiality. You're who you are beyond any description. How does that affect what we originally started off with, which is this sadness and a bit of anger that it hasn't worked out for you, looking for your ideal partner? How does it affect that? Knowing who you are.
Changes everything.
Yeah. What are you more conscious of now than before?
That potentiality.
Yeah. And those of you at home, I want you to expand out. And how does knowing that you are this, you are that, affect your original problem, your original tension or concern that was bringing you out of peace and flow? How does it affect that? It deepens it, it widens it, it dissolves all the previous restrictions of being. And now, what is your new narrative moving forward? So what I mean by that is, what's your new story? The old story you've got ingrained for who knows how many years, decades, lifetimes perhaps. You are not your identity. You are the one that moves in and out of infinite identities at choice. Now that you're in the power of choice, how will you move forward in your life? Lee, specifically in the realm of calling in your beloved. What's the way you can live that will call in your beloved from the wisdom you have now?
More freely, more playfully.
Yes. Freely and playfully and through lightness of being. That's going to be beautiful. And everyone at home, I want you to feel, how will you live this? How are you going to bring this forward? What's your walk in life now? Express it to the universe. The universe is listening. I will now walk this way. I now move forward this way. My new story, my new narrative is this. Be bold and free in your expression of it. So Lee, what is your new narrative? Say it in a full descriptive way that brings joy to your heart and lays the track to a new path. I now walk. And whenever you're ready, you can express it verbally for all of us.
And now walk freely and playfully, with ease in the direction of my beloved, as she makes her way to me.
Oh,
In
feel
full
all,
recognition of each other and each other's souls and hearts, and all of our past lives together in this dimension at this time.
so be it. Those of you who are at home, What is your new narrative? Say it as a sacrament, a sacred offering to the universe, a declaration of the path that you walk now. Go ahead and take a few moments to do so in your own words. Externalize it with your voice, not just in your mind. I now walk the path of what my truth is this. And wherever we are in time and space, let's give each other our highest honoring of our true nature. We have all connected now in another dimension where we are all attuned and can feel each other's true nature, because we are in our true real nature before any identities. And now we have the power to enter and vacate any identity choicefully, cleanly. And now we decide to choose well, when to let go of identities that no longer serve us, and to pick up ones that might have utility in the moment. And when we're ready, take 3 deep breaths. We can open our eyes and give each other the highest honoring, a bow, a namaste, a blessing, to wherever we all are in the world, whatever time we're seeing this. 2 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes and give each other love. Yeah.
Wow.
Well done, everyone. Well done.
So incredible. Thank you so much. I think I needed that. And I could definitely feel the emotionality of it. I could feel even some shifts, in my midsection and in my heart area. And even the odd body chill came through as well. So very, very powerful. Thank you for sharing that so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome. My honor.
So I have one question to finish, and this is something that I've been asking everyone since all 3 days we've been really, encompassing peak performance and this idea of being able to bring peak performance into every area of your life, not just as as an earner, or not just with your health, but, your relationships and being fulfilled. So what does peak performance mean to you, Satyen?
Peak performance to me, it means we're learning to optimize our inherent capacities. So we all have natural temperaments, inherent capacities, right? Based on who we are, our intellect, our bodies, our minds, our personalities. And so for me, peak performance means optimizing our nature, clearing out the obstacle patterns. And there's 2 parts of it. There's clearing and cultivation. Clearing for me is clearing the psycho-emotional blocks, the limiting patterns, the limiting beliefs, the imprints we have that keep us cramped from the expression of our full capacity, our peak performance. And then there's cultivation side. Cultivation are actual things you got to do to strengthen yourself. Physical, study, exercise, nutrition, those are things to cultivate. So for me, and for me, peak performance is getting that to its top level of capacity. But I also have another distinction in my body of work, because a lot of us have been going for peak performance, but for me, it's contextualized in what I call peak existence. Peak existence is, how do we live a complete life? As you said, not just in the earning, not just, we tend to perform in one area and can bring that up to high levels. Peak existence for me is a life of equilibrium. And that's something I strive for when I'm working with business leaders. Many of them are super high performers and achievers, but their life is not in equilibrium. So for me, that's the next stage. So for my own self practice, a lifetime, I think I'm going to be working on this for a lifetime as an entrepreneurial spirit. is peak existence, and keeping the hum of that through equilibrium.
I love that, and I may even borrow that, because that essentially that's what I'm alluding to, right? Is how do we bring that peak performance, into every area of our life, so that we come back into balance, we come back into wholeness. And so I love the concept of peak existence. I think that's also my goal, to be honest. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anything else that you want to share? Any parting words of wisdom for our viewers today? Anything that is kind of coming through in this last few moments?
When it all comes back to what we started today in our discussion and our sharing of what life, your life, my life is more than a set of identities that we need to fulfill. We've all now experienced a taste, a drop into our true nature, which is beyond identities. Let's follow that path. That path always leads you home, because it is home. Everything else will lead you astray, because it already is astray. So take the path that's already there. The universe has already laid it out for us. The more we stay on it, the more it blooms. The more we take diversions off it, great, we can do that. We have free will and choice to learn those things. But home is always already there. The path is hard to find and easy to lose, but it's always there.
So beautiful. Brother, thank you so much. How can people get in touch with you? You mentioned off the top some of the things that you're up to in the world. Any links, any events, anything that you have going on that you can share, and we can connect more people with what you're up to in the world.
Thank you, Lee, for the opportunity. So I would invite everyone to come and visit my website, warriorsage.com, warriorsage.com. On there, you'll find many recordings, videos, teachings, leadership trainings, a lot of materials on there. And there's also my new book set called Transcendent CEO and Transcendent Culture. Transcendent CEO is something I recommend for all leaders in any leadership position. It's an oracle. You can open it up anywhere, get immediate insight on what you're needing exactly in the moment. And Transcendent Culture is about creating and sustaining super teams that can literally change the world. And so I would recommend people can start with those two. You can find on warriorsage.com and use that to start your journey. And I look forward to being of service in whatever way I can for those of us who are called.
Beautiful, brother. Again, thank you so much. Such an honor for me to have you on here, and I'm so grateful for your presence, your wisdom, and everything you're up to in the world. Thank you again so much.
Most welcome, brother. Thank you, Lee. And thank you, everyone, as well, for your beautiful receptivity and the gift you are to the world. So be that gift.